Hello, Matadors. This is Mumford, and I am here to teach you how to create your first cube in Onshape. So when you go to Onshape, you're going to end up basically on this landing page. And on the landing page, you're going to want to go ahead and hit Create. And in Onshape, a new project is called a new document. And in this document, you can actually use the document to house parts assemblies, documents, drawings, anything that you want to put into that particular project. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Document. I'm going to call this I'm going to call it YouCube project. This cube is eventually going to be all about you and your CAD skills. So you hit OK, and it opens up a brand new Parts Studio. We call this the Parts Studio. Up here at the top, you have your main menu, and these will allow you to rename your document. If you click on it, you can look at your document properties, you can copy your workspace, you can change your units. So in this workspace, we want to go ahead and do that right now. Make sure it's in inches and in degrees and in pounds. So once you have your units correct for right now, because it's American, eventually we'll go over to the metric system. But right now we'll start there. So you hit the green checkbox, and that will save those features inside of this workspace. Now, over here on the left, where you see where I'm clicking around, this is called the browser. This is called the browser. And up here on the top, I'm going to call this the ribbon. I'm going to call this the ribbon. So this is the main menu, right? At the top. This will also allow you to share in the main menu, which we'll get to later. This is the ribbon. And right now, this ribbon is the features ribbon. If I click on a plane like this, and then I click on sketch, you'll watch my ribbon change. And the ribbon that it comes out now is the drawing tools ribbon. So this is the sketch ribbon, and that'll give me my drawing tools. In order to get out of that, I'll just hit this red X, and now it'll go back to the features ribbon. And there's a lot of features, and I will be teaching them over the next couple of weeks. So you'll get an opportunity to see, and I'll point out specific features as we go through this part. Finally, I'm going to move this out of the way. This is actually the video bar that has been placed there. This down here on the bottom, you will not see this. This is also for the presentation. But down here is the Parts Studio dock. So right now we are in a part, and I think maybe I could take this and move this. I cannot. Get rid of it. There it is. Down here, you have the Parts Studio dock. And in this dock, you have a Part Studio and an assembly already ready for you to work with. If you wanted to add a document or anything else, you click on the plus button, and it'll end up in this particular file. And this project, right, which we call a document, and this entire document will hold several different elements of the project we are doing. So this is a pretty cool space to be in. You need to be aware of it. All right, let's get started. Everything that we do in 3 dimensions is going to start on a 2-dimensional plane. So basically a single dimension is a line, right? Just a line, a plane, and then you have what we call an envelope. And this envelope is a three-dimensional plane or a three-dimensional space within which we can work. And we have a three-dimensional reality with Z going up. So when we think about axes, we have X, and I'll turn the cube here, Y, and Z. And Z going up is going to be our default. And the reason is for manufacturing stuff, as we get further and further along, most machines will have Z going up and down. X, as you can see, is going to be this direction. And we're going to call this direction, we're going to call it the width. So when we go from left to right, we call that the width. From left to right, we call that the width. When we go from bottom to top on the Z, we're going to call that the length. No, we do not use the word length because all of everything I'm giving you is going to be length. So we have to call this the height. So from left to right, we call this the width. From top to bottom, we call that the height. The width and the height, and then along the Y, along this plane here, in going this direction, we call it the depth. So we're going to use width, height, and depth. Avoid using the word length. Remember, width, height, and depth. Avoid using length. Width, height, and depth. Avoid using length. Now, so we got front, top, right. Front, top, right. But when we come over here to this cube, we have front. And this is a navigation cube, and you can click on it with your mouse. To see the right, now this is something you want to really learn. To see the right, I want to click left. To see the left, I want to click right. To see the bottom, I want to click top. To see the top, I want to click bottom. And I can always put my hand on the shift key and press down the right mouse button. And I have free rotation. Yes, you are going to get a cat ache, but it's okay. That's another story. Now, I want to reset myself, so I'm going to click on the top. I know I'm on the top. And remember, I want to move this way to the front. And then I want to go back to my isometric view. Now, isometric is when I click on this corner right here. This is my isometric view, where you're going to see the front, the right, the top of any part. So here we go. Let's get started with our first part. I want you to understand as I go through this video, I will go through things twice, then I'll say pause and get it done. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to click the front. I'm going to click the sketch. And this brings up the ribbon with the tools that I need for sketching. One of these tools are basically the tools in this particular space are the geometric tools. These are going to allow me to put geometry on the plane. And every 3D geometry starts with a 2D sketch. And if I click over here, I got the rectangular sketches that I have. I could do a corner rectangle where I pull to two different corners and I click and I have that rectangle, or I could do a center point rectangle. And in this case, I want to have my orientation about the center. I want the center of the cube to be the center of my work. Now, when we get into manufacturing, I'm going to want I'm going to want the center of my cube to be below the top of my work. And the reason is, again, the machine's going to come down. So I'm going to go center, and I'm going to click on center point rectangle. I click on it. I click on the center point, and I pull. And once I pull, and I pull diagonally, I get the square, or about a square, but I want it to be square perfectly. So I have to give it geometry, and now I get to give it dimension. Notice right now it's blue. When it's blue, it's not dimensioned. So I'm going to click 3, enter, 3, enter, and it turns to black. When a figure, we're going to call these figures, when a figure is totally black on the edges, it is constrained and dimensioned, fully constrained and dimensioned. And these are the best things to use to try to create your parts because the math is now working. This is called parametric modeling. When I'm putting in the math, then I can actually create the conditions for making things really small or really large by using variables to change the dimensions of my project. For right now, I just want to learn to get the math. Math is the shortcut, not the long cut. Again, I said I'm going to do everything twice. This time I'm going to just do it fast. So I'm going to hit X and get out of that. It erases the reality. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit front, click sketch, click on center point rectangle, click on the origin, pull to the right diagonal, put in 3, enter 3. See those little boxes it's letting me do? It's black, it's fully dimensioned, and I am done. Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm going to pause this video because I'm going to talk to Mr. Reed. So now that you have your square, I'm going to let you know it is time to go to the features menu and learn about this beautiful feature called extrude. Extrusions are basically transformations of a two-dimensional object or feature into a three-dimensional feature. A two-dimensional feature to a three-dimensional feature. So let's extrude this. And because we started on the origin, let's keep the symmetry. We want symmetry, so we're going to go ahead and go new, but we're going to go ahead and click on the down arrow and go to symmetric. And if the block is 3 by 3, we also want our depth to be 3. So our width is 3, our height is 3, our depth is 3. That creates a cube. And again, I'm going to do everything twice. So what I do, I click on the feature. I click on the extrude button. I come down, click on symmetry, and change it to 3. You see how I like to rhyme? Change the symmetry to 3, hit the check mark, and now you have a cube. Stop this video and create a three-dimensional 3 cube, right? So it's 3, 3, 3 times 3. Come on. Just stop the video and go do it for me. Thank you. All right, welcome back. This time, I want to teach you how to add some text and engrave the text on the top. So we're going to click on the top. We're going to click Sketch. And then we're going to click on the top of the cube. And that'll make it so that we can put it right there. We can just look down at what we're going to be doing. I want to choose the text feature from the sketch ribbon. So I choose the text. I click and I drag, and fundamentally the height of the box is going to determine the size of the font. So I'm going to click and I'm going to drag and I'll put it right there like that. That opens up this text box, and I'm going to type in Harold, enter Mumford. And I want to make it bold, and I want to change the font. My favorite font is Roboto. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. When I am done, I'm going to click the check mark. But remember, I'm going to do everything twice. So I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to go back to this corner, and I'm going to go to the other corner, and I go back to my isometric view. Again, I want to click on the top face. I want to click on Sketch, and then I want to click on the top of the cube over here, and I'll see it straight down. Click on text, drag it. I'm going to put it closer to the center this time. Drag it down to the height that you might want the text to be. I'm going to do about right there. It opens up the text box. I'm going to type in Harold Mumford. I am going to now choose Roboto Slab. I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to hit the check. And there it is, right almost where I want it. I could take this and kind of drag it a little bit to put it where I want it. And I like it better there. I'm going to hit the green check mark. And now I have a sketch with my text down here. And finally, I want to teach you how to use the extrude button to engrave, which means to go and etch out my name on the top of the cube. And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go to the extrude and we're going to remove. Go to extrude, click remove. You don't want to go down an inch. Just go down 0.125, which is an eighth of an inch. An eighth of an inch is 0.125. You will learn that with me. And then what you want to do is click on the geometry, which is, see how when I move over, boom, I want to click on that geometry. So it puts it here in that box. And now I'm going to go ahead and tell it it's time to do it. And so I click on the green, but I'm going to stop and do it again. So I've gotten to the top. I've gotten here. I want to go to, I'm out of the sketch and I'm going to go to extrude. I'm going to click on remove. I'm going to click on my geometry. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 0.125, 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to now hit the green arrow. And you have now engraved your name into the top of the cube. Stop this video and get it done. All right, welcome back. Let's go ahead now and turn to the right of the cube. Let's click on the right cube here, let's click on the face, and let's go ahead and click on sketch, and let's use the text again, and instead of engraving, I want to emboss. So I'm going to click on the text again. I'm going to go ahead and make it the size or the height I want. And this time I'm going to put Mount Miguel High School. Mount Miguel High School. I'm going to go ahead and change this text to my favorite Roboto and make it bold. And I'm going to actually only do this once since I've taught you how to do text before. And here I go. I hit the check mark. The text ends up right there. And I like it. It's about right where I want it to. Like this. Move it to where I want it. Perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and accept that as a sketch. I'm going to go to extrude. And I'm going to go to add. Instead of remove, I'm going to add. And I'm going to click on the geometry, which is the text. And I'm going to go 0.125, an eighth of an inch. And this time I'm going to emboss. Boom. And if I turn it, you'll see that this is now embossed on this side of the cube. I've engraved on the top, I've embossed on the side. And now I want to go back to this same plane again and click on the right. Click on the right plane. I want to do another sketch. And this time I want to engrave class of 2024 because I want your class on there. So some of you are class of 2023. I get it, but I want the class of 2024. And here we go. I'm going to go to the text. I'm going to click the text. I'm going to make that kind of smaller here, right there. And I'm going to type in class of 2024. Again, I'm going to change to Roboto because I like that, but you can like another thing. It's fine. It's yours. And I'm going to hit select like there. It's perfect. And this I want to engrave. So I want to emboss the Mount Miguel High School and I want to engrave the class of 2024. So I'm going to click on yes to the sketch. So that's becomes sketch 4 over here in the browser. And I want to go ahead and click on the extrude. I want to remove and I want to click on this, which is the text. And I want to engrave it 0.125. And I'm going to remove from the surface and boom, there it is. So when I turn it, you'll see Mount Miguel High School is embossed and class of 2024 is engraved. I am going to leave you here because I've taught you what I need you to understand. So on the front of the cube, you need to emboss something about yourself. And on the back of the cube, let me go quickly. On the back of the cube, you need to engrave something about yourself, and you will wait and actually do another video to figure out what we do on the left. Thank you.